enough is enough.
Hey guys, welcome back to the No Holds Barred Network with another episode of Under the Ropes. I'm your host as always, the Queen of the Indies, Tiffany. And today, I have to go and complete the young, dumb, and broke over here. So we had to bring Ellis Taylor. What's going on? Howdy. What's new? I haven't seen you in a bit, actually. That's the funny thing. No, that's not true. I should say that I saw you last at JCW. That was the last time I seen you. So. And here we are. So singing Young, Dumb, and Broke every week, I feel like. Awesome. So guys, make sure you like, share, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. Smash that like button. Here I interview everything independent wrestling, whether it's wrestlers, promoters, backstage stuff, all that fun thing. So if you guys got questions for Ellis, I'm sure he'll be more than happy to answer all of your questions. So we're gonna start this party off. I like to start all my interviews off like this. So, how did you get into professional wrestling?
Like how I found pro wrestling, or like how I started wrestling?
Let's do both.
All right. So I mostly grew up in Portland, Oregon, and then I moved to Philly when I was like 10 or 11. And like almost right after I moved here, I got a Xbox, and then I was in GameStop trying to find games to play, and I just saw this one game. It was like SmackDown versus Raw 2010, and I saw like John Cena and Big Show on the cover, and I was like, yo, these guys look awesome. I want to play this game. So I bought the game, I played it, but like in my head, those people weren't real. It was just a video game, because I had no idea that this was like the WWE was a real thing. But like one day I just was like, they say Monday Night Raw a lot in the game. I'm gonna see if I can find that on TV. And I found it on TV, and I don't even remember like what that episode was, but I remember like I went on like the on demand and watched like the pay-per-view replays they have, and it was like Night of Champions, like 2011 or 10 or something. And I think like the first match I really remember seeing was like Big Show versus CM Punk, when CM Punk had the mask on because he just shaved his head.
Oh wow. I would have never guessed that from a video game though.
like super random, like left field, like had like I'd probably like seen pro wrestling before when I was like a really little kid, but like I had no clue what it was at all.
So cool. You know, it's funny that you say that, because like on my All Elite podcast that we do on the network, I was talking about the fact that I never watched CM Punk. I like stopped watching wrestling when he was around. So CM Punk and AEW right now for me is like all new experience for me.
That's crazy.
Isn't that crazy? Like it's so nuts. So it's like
CM Punk was like my whole childhood fandom, like my whole teenage years was CM Punk.
Right. That's so cool. So how did you get into like, you know, like where did you go to start training, all that, you know, how did you decide to do this?
Well, as the boys touched on when they were on here, we all went to school together. We all lived on pretty much the same street. We weren't always friends, but eventually the school amateur wrestling team made us friends and brought us together. You know, that team unity. But from there, I stopped amateur wrestling once I got to high school, because it just like wasn't fun anymore. It was like way too like serious for like a high school sport, in my opinion. Like, I get it, you know, high school sports like matter a lot for like scholarships and stuff like that, but to me, I was just trying to like have fun and wrestle with my friends. And so we started backyard wrestling, on this like trackpad behind our high school that like people do like the pole vault on.
Mm-hmm.
We started like filming matches and putting them on YouTube with just like 4 people, just like wrestling the same people over and over and putting on masks so we could be different people and get different matches. But like literally that backyard wrestling and posting videos online hooked us up with Jordan Oliver, who was also doing pretty much the same thing. We went to New York to wrestle in his backyard fed, whatever you want to call it. And then pretty much from there, I think he had already done like a handful of matches, like real matches on the indies.
Mm-hmm.
And IWA Mid-South was holding their winter tryouts. And I don't know if this is a good idea for promotions to do, but if you showed up to IWA Mid-South with $20, they would let you wrestle on the card.
That's so
and like they didn't ask anything, like who trained you, like how long you've been wrestling, nothing. We showed up there. My mom drove us 12 hours. We showed up there. We gave the $20. I wrestled Griffin. Charlie wrestled some random dude that was there. Jordan wrestled another guy that we know. But that was our first match. We drove 12 hours and paid $20 to wrestle on IWA Mid-South.
That'd be a cool feeling though, right? Like
it's crazy. Like literally I'll never forget the first time I stepped in the ring. Like it felt like a movie. Like just like looking across the ring, like it was like that like tunnel vision, like the lights are down, like it just felt like a movie.
Right.
But like so we did our first like handful of matches just completely untrained, like just going with Jordan wherever we could go. Only like a handful, maybe like 10 matches at the most before we were like, okay, we have to actually learn what we're doing. So we started going to training at CZW because we knew a couple people there at the time. And that's how I got hooked up with Preacher, who's probably like the main person that I would credit my training to. I just also like Jimmy Rave and DJ and the Rep, but like I went to more Preacher classes early on than anybody else, so I always say Preacher trained me. But yeah, so we just started wrestling there, and then through the Dojo Wars program, and then all over New Jersey, and now all over the country.
Wow, it's nuts. And thanks, Bob, right, for like driving us 12 hours to go like be in the ring. That's so awesome. I love Preacher. I got to get him on the podcast actually.
He's the man.
He's great. I've had little chats with him actually on our Indie Talks on the No Holds Barred Network. You could see that over on one of the Undiscovered 50. Actually, Jordan Oliver was in the background warming up actually as well while Preacher was talking about the training. So, but he is someone that I need to get on here and pick his brain because like I can only imagine the stories that he can tell.
Yeah. Like in my opinion, he's like top-notch trainer.
Yeah.
Like I don't think I learned more from anyone in training classes than I learned from Preacher. A lot of people are really good at like giving advice and talking to you about your matches and stuff. Preacher is really good at that, but also like the step-by-step walking people through how to do it and making sure like people who aren't understanding do understand. Like a lot of people just like, okay, do it, and if someone does it wrong, they won't like fix it. They won't take the time. But like Preacher, if you're doing something wrong, he will hold up the entire class until you get it right.
That's
that's
amazing.
what you need to do.
Yeah, that's absolutely amazing. Love it. That will happen eventually down the line. We'll get Preacher on here on the Under the Rope series. So with that being said, I always like asking the wrestlers their opinions. I mean, I've seen you in a million of matches, but I always like that for a fan that's never seen you before. What is the go-to match that they should go check out to if they're not sure of you?
You know what? This match is literally popping up in my feed today. Me and Jordan Oliver, we wrestled in the first round of the Acid Cup 2, made like a year or two ago. Um, and I always thought the match is really good. It's one of my favorites, of course, but like it's one of my matches that people will still tag me in, like will still post about, like even 2 years after it happened. Like today I got people like tagging me on their stories, like this is my favorite indie match, and I'm just like, why? Why is this your favorite match? Why are you watching this 2 years after it happened? But like that's definitely one. In terms of like tag team wrestling with like Chuck Tiger, probably like, I really liked our match against Culture Inc. at Hybrid. I don't remember what the show was called, but I think both those matches are on YouTube. Yeah, both those matches are on YouTube.
Awesome. Go check that out on YouTube. Ike's in the chat said, very lucky nothing happened to you or your opponent. I'm glad that you went for training. So definitely. So I want to talk about so now we're in 2021, but I feel like that a lot's happened for you as well with us even going through the pandemic in 2020. And I think I personally feel like that you came a lot more into your own within wrestling. So can we talk a little bit deeper about like wrestling with no fans, you know, but we're still having that ability to watch through the apps of like IWTV and Fight, and, you know, thank you for the promotions out there and even you guys like still wrestling during this pandemic. And then now we're kind of like full force back with fans. So let's talk a little bit about this with you.
I mean, yeah, COVID, not that it's over.
Right.
So like when I say things like was, you know, don't take it like I'm brushing it off now, but COVID was crazy for the first year. Like the idea of no fans at wrestling shows, but we're still going to do the wrestling shows was kind of crazy to me. Yeah. But it was getting to that point where it's like, okay, there haven't been any wrestling shows in like 3 months. Like we have to do something. Yeah. But like you said about like coming into my own kind of like that, I think COVID taking wrestling away really made me see it from a new perspective. I think I might have been not what's the word? Like ungrateful, I guess, for the position that I was put in, because like I just always was like, oh yeah, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. This is my life, blah, 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 blah. I always knew I'd be here, whatever. But I think COVID made me look at it like, oh, this is not just like how it's supposed to be. Like I need to appreciate this time that I have as a wrestler. I need to like cherish this shit. And not just the time as a wrestler, but the time with my friends, really. Like on the road and stuff, because we stopped traveling for months and I stopped seeing the boys as much. Yeah. And like it was just brutal for a while. But back to wrestling with no fans, that's another thing I found a new appreciation of. I think before COVID, I never really was too, like, I always wanted the fans to be making noise, of course, but I wouldn't think about it like that. I didn't run off of the crowd reactions, but like wrestling in front of no people and just it being silent, or even like a couple wrestlers, they're not gonna like give you the holy shits and this is awesome. They're gonna sit there and just try not to react to your stuff. But,
you see it all the time.
Literally. But yeah, that definitely gave me an appreciation for the crowd, because now I feel like I wrestle for the crowd. And like there are points when I'm like in matches, like, oh, if the crowd wasn't loud right here, I'd be exhausted. And before COVID, I never really thought of things like that. Like I never really got like crazy adrenaline rushes off of crowd reactions.
Mhm.
But now that it's all coming back and the people are like more into it than they were right at the tail end of it.
Yeah.
So they're louder and just more excited to be at wrestling shows again. And like we're all excited to be wrestling again. But yeah, it definitely just gave me like an overall like deeper appreciation for wrestling and the fans.
Definitely. Shout out to Heel Pops and Chair Shots. Those are the boys. I miss you guys at Synergy. We'll just like bring that up, and we're not gonna go deep into that or whatever. But I miss those guys sitting there doing some drinks and shots with those guys. And definitely, I'm so glad that you're here to see Ellis. So they asked, "Are you taking any bookings now?" I mean, clearly he is.
No, right now, I'm not wrestling. Actually, I'm focusing on my singing career. No, I'm taking bookings. Ellis Taylor bookings at gmail.com. DM me on Twitter, Instagram, whatever, Facebook if you're like that.
Yeah, I miss you guys too. Make sure, like, you guys got to come down to JCW, which we'll get into. But before I go into that question, because that was going to be my next question about JCW, Jimmy Raves in the chat. Shout out to you. He goes, "How has things changed for you personally or professionally since you got new gear and started working on your body?" Now that's a perfect question because I was going to go into that later.
That's like such a layered question. I have always been the laziest bum out of my friend group. I have always been the one that didn't want to go to the gym, who didn't want to, like, if everyone wants to go to the beach, I probably don't want to go to the fucking beach. Like, I'm just kind of, I'm lame like that. I never wanted to do the shit. I like playing video games and sitting inside. So for me, wrestling is kind of like the opposite of everything I like, but at the same time, I just love it so much for some reason. But getting the gear was definitely like a first step in the right direction, because, like, you know, for years we went off of the, oh, we're young, dumb, and broke, we should dress like bums. And, like, I don't think people realized that it was intentional that we were dressing like that, and that we weren't just like being lazy and not buying gear. We could have bought gear, but like to us in our heads we thought, oh, we should wear sweatpants and ripped up jeans and like look like bums. But now that we're like maturing as characters, we're getting to a different point where we're not like those shitty kids anymore. So getting gear like is literally something we all sat down about and was like, all right, all of us need to get gear moving forward. You're gonna wear this, I'm gonna wear this, you're gonna wear, like, it's a whole group discussion. But that definitely, somehow, just gear gives you different confidence. When you think you look cool, you feel cool. So the gear definitely gave me confidence. And then working out has just been like, I've been like taking it seriously for just about a year now. I don't know, like something just like clicked in me one day where I was like, I need to work way harder, because like a lot of people in wrestling I've noticed don't have specific goals. Like they just are happy to wrestle. I'm not happy to wrestle. Like I love wrestling. So don't twist that, but like I'm not happy to just wrestle. I want to be the best wrestler, and a pale, fucking skinny, fat, like shitty looking guy is not gonna be the best wrestler. He is not gonna have the best matches. So I think something just made me take myself seriously, and I just started working out. I've noted like my in-ring cardio has gotten much better. My matches are improving because I'm not like sluggish at times. I'm running faster in the ring. I feel better, like, and not just in the ring, but like working out, you know, it makes you happier and healthier in normal life too. Like I'm outside way more now. I used to be like ghost pale because I didn't like going outside, but now I ride my bike every day. I go to the park. We have like it's like a workout park. They have like workout stations all along like a track. Me and Jordan go there with our friend Billy Gold, who's going to be a world champion one day. But I look up to guys like Seth Rollins, and he is a animal in the gym. He is like, I used to look at that stuff and be like, I can't do that. But now I look at that stuff and I'm like, I want to go do that right now. I see like Seth Rollins working out and it makes me want to go to the gym for the second time that day.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, I don't know. Seeing it now, I just have a different perspective on it. I see their hard work and their payoff, and it just something clicked that's what I have to do.
It's amazing. Like, I always said that about like Seth Rollins that I liked. It's just like he's just that natural lean from that CrossFit that he just looks amazing. But I hear like it's very rough to do all that. I've heard crazy stories.
That's how I'm trying to work out. Like when me and Jordan we put together like 2-hour cycles of stuff to do. I base a lot of my stuff off of, I watch Sheamus. He has a YouTube channel where he works out with random WWE superstars. Like, he probably has one with everyone at this point. But like, I took a lot from his workout with John Cena in terms of like stretching and like certain like just like unique exercises that I wouldn't have thought of. And then with Seth Rollins, it's like I take everything that I see. This guy's just going crazy the whole time. And it's like his workouts are all about just like go, 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 go.
Yeah.
Where someone like John Cena specifies like, get in, get out. Like, work out in 30 minutes because like doesn't have a lot of time.
Right.
But I want to spend 2 hours in the gym. So I do more Seth Rollins-esque stuff.
That's amazing. And then like the support that you guys have for each other as well. Like, I love watching also like on Instagram or wherever you post that I see like you and Jordan are working out, and like, you know, that post picture, it's inspiring. And even like Steve Scott, we talked about that with him as well on the podcast. Like, he dropped all this weight.
Crazy good shape this year.
Yeah, like he lost so much weight. He went keto. We talked about that. If you guys are interested in that podcast, definitely go check that out as well. And he broke down that he was depressed and going through all this stuff, and you know, he turned his life around. Like, I feel like I need to come hang out with you guys. I need to drop like 1 million pounds. Like, I'm gonna come. You guys are gonna kill me. Heel Pops and Chair Shot says, "Young, Dumb, and Broke is fun to watch. Y'all killed it. You definitely do." So, and it's so great because I'm going to bring up JCW. So, I mean, I talked a little bit about this with Griffin and Charlie about even at the Battle Bowl that I was there. And it's cool for you guys, right? Like, we're all screaming Young, Dumb, and Broke. We're all singing it. I mean, I'm posting it with these interviews, like, come sing it in our chat. You know, but JCW, I have completely fallen in love with. It has been like definitely one of my top 3 favorite promotions. If you guys aren't watching it, you should be watching it. It's free on YouTube. Definitely go check that out. And I love all the talent that's joining JCW. So, I mean, obviously we've had Yo-Yo, Marcus Matters, Dill McKay, Billy Starks. I mean, we can keep going on and on and on. But can we talk a little bit about your experience with JCW and who in there would you like to work with coming up?
JCW itself has been awesome. Yeah. I think the point of JCW is to give a lot of people who there necessarily might not be a spot for on the GCW show an opportunity to still get in front of that crowd. Because, like, everyone says, it's the developmental for GCW, and, like, it is, but I don't like looking at things, like, so, like, straightforward like that, like, because JCW is its whole different vibe. Like, it's all, like, for the most part, young wrestlers. Like, a bunch of the people there are, like, not even 20, I feel like. Yeah. Some of these, like, H2O kids.
Yeah.
But, what's it called? But yeah, JCW has been a great place for people to be showcased, and even like people like Dante and Ninja Mac.
Yeah.
It's somewhere where it's like they got to show how sick they were, and that got them onto the GCW shows. I think everyone should be looking at it like that. Everyone who's on those shows
Yeah.
should be busting ass trying to get on the main GCW shows, because it's just like the cycle of things. Like JCW is going to keep bringing in young, hot wrestlers, but you don't want to get stale and be in the same spot for too long.
Yeah.
I feel like the whole thing is put together for everyone there to work their hardest. Like it does like other shows like a GCW. It feels like, all right, let's have the fucking best show, and it always is the best show, and it's like, let's kill it, let's have fun, this and that. At JCW, it more feels like, okay, we all need to prove ourselves. At GCW, everyone's established for the most part.
Right.
Everyone's over. You have the signs. You have the cutout faces in the crowd. Like, everyone's known. But on JCW, it's a lot of people trying to become known. And I feel like in those situations, you'll see a lot more, like, I don't want to just say, like, risks being taken, but, like, you'll see a lot more, like, different stuff, I feel like, and a lot of, like, people trying new things at JCW rather than, like, other shows, because everyone there just wants it so bad.
Yeah.
But people I would like to work with there, I would say Everett Connors, but I'm wrestling him at NFW. Man, I would love to rerun some of my Charles Mason stuff, to be honest.
Yeah.
Just such an easy, it writes itself.
Yeah.
You know? It's such an easy thing to run.
Yeah, you guys had a great match prior. Like,
yeah. I mean, I don't want to put him over too much because he's an asshole, but you know, he's really good at what he does.
He really is. So definitely, if you guys, again, like, you want to check out that interview with Charles Mason and go back on the Under the Rope series as well.
I bet he was just being weird and creepy the whole time.
I'm still mad at him. He buried my list of husbands. I'm still gonna fight him. Like, we're still gonna fight Charles. Like, I hate you. But we can't take away the fact that he's such a good wrestler. But I think you definitely nailed the fact with JCW as well, is I feel like I found a lot of wrestlers that I didn't even know were around until they came over to JCW. And that's what I love. And like with watching JCW, it actually brings me to start following some of these wrestlers that come over to JCW to other promotions that I was. Cole Radrick, right? Cole Radrick is probably like one of the best examples as well, that came over. He just came on last week, and we talked to him about that as well. So such great talent over at JCW. That's why I said definitely one of my highest promotions that I like there. So let's talk Atlanta Wrestling Entertainment. So you and Charlie, tag team champions. Like, we talked about it with Charlie, so I'd love to talk about it with you guys. I mean, you guys are still champions. How many days is it? I mean,
over 600. Like, something ridiculous. I was just looking at it the other day, and it was 619. I thought that was funny. But it's more than that.
Yeah. So awesome. I definitely want to go, and that's what I like also, is that because I know you guys, that now I can check out promotions that I didn't even know existed, and it's so hard to keep up with everything. Oh boy, no, Charles, he's in the chat. We were talking about running back your match over to JCW, so yeah, you missed that, but what do you think? Can we have another round of you guys over there?
What was the question? What was it?
No, Charles thought I was talking about him being tag team champions, but I was talking about him and Charlie Tiger. But we were talking about you prior to this, Mason. Yeah, so you and Ellis, maybe JCW again. We'll see that match. So Uh, definitely. So it's like his ears rung, right? Pretty much.
I know, right?
Damn.
Weirdo.
So we have a bunch of fan tweets. Charles, I don't know if you want to rebuttal in the chat. I'll read it if you will, but we'll move on to this fan tweet from Good Cop, Bad Cop. He said, would Ellis Taylor be an anagram of I really lost? Have you ever got lost going to an event? And most disappointed you've ever been after a loss?
I remember seeing this tweet and I was like, "What?"
He likes to stump on my.
I was like, "What is like?" I had to look up what an anagram meant. Young, dumb, and broke was a gimmick. It is not. But I don't think I've ever really gotten lost on my way to a show. Definitely like things have not gone as planned before. I don't think I've ever gotten lost though. Most disappointed I've ever been after losing a match. I hate losing matches. Probably I don't know, man. All of them. But I lost to Yoya at JCW, and I was in control most of the match, and I thought I had it, and it slipped through my fingers. He rolled me up, but you know it happens sometime. I was really disappointed because I don't get that many singles matches. Thought I was gonna put the hurting on him, but he surprised me.
Okay. And his other part of the question is like, have you ever got lost going to an event?
Yeah, not really. I don't think so.
I love it. Electric Gamers in the chat, he goes, could we see more in standalone wrestling like the last time with Jacob was great?
Yeah, I'm doing January 20 something, January 29th. I will be back in standalone wrestling, and I'm bringing the boys with me, at least one of them, two of them. I don't know how many of them. Some of the boys will be there. I'll probably be going after Dilf Boy Daltano's squad of losers, and we're going to beat them in a tag match, probably.
It was funny because we got a fan tweet for that too on Instagram from Gascar. It said, how did you feel about the match at Standalone against Dalton, and can Isaac be your camera guy more often?
Ooh, so I'll touch on the Isaac part first. He is that show. It's funny that someone even noticed that he was like filming my match, because that show was like our test run for him to be our like vlog guy. We used to put out we put out like one episode, so I don't want to act like we were doing it, but we used to want to do vlogs and like kind of like being the elite, more skits than like just, oh look, this is us at the show, because that's kind of lame. But we wanted to do skits and stuff and just put it on YouTube and have content, but we're lazy. None of us like editing, none of us like filming, so we stopped doing it for like 2 years. But recently I asked him if he'd be down to just randomly, whenever he sees fit, start filming us at shows and stuff, and then like film our matches and edit it up and put it on his YouTube channel. And he loved the idea. So now he's whenever he's available and at a show with us, he's going to be at ringside filming our matches, backstage with us, kind of day in the life of style. But then what was the other question that wasn't about Isaac?
Where was it? Here's, how did you feel about the match at Standalone against Dalton?
I mean, man, I'm gonna give you as like PC of an answer that I can. Dalton is someone I've known for a while now, and I don't mean to flat out disrespect him when I say this, but Dalton in the ring as a wrestler sucks. he's very bad. And that's less of an opinion and more of a straight up fact. He's someone that needs to, and this is all stuff that I said to his face. This is all stuff that I told him after our match. So it's not like I'm just coming on here and talking shit. But he needs to go to wrestling school. He needs to learn. A lot of people need to go to wrestling school, and that's coming from me, who did my first matches without wrestling school. Like, you can wrestle on shows to a certain extent without actually knowing what you're doing, but once you start getting in the ring with actual wrestlers, you're gonna be exposed and you're gonna look bad, and you might hurt somebody whose actual job is pro wrestling. You know, like, you don't want to take food off of somebody's table just because you thought you could get away with not training or not learning how to actually wrestle, because there are a lot of people who rely on this to survive, literally. But like the Dalton match, professionally, trash. Hated it. You know, it was fine, but to my standard, not what I wanted it to be. Not as good as I want my matches to be. But obviously, there's a lot of room for growth with Dalton. I will say that he gives a shit about wrestling, and he is more committed than a lot of people I see. He took an hour-long bus ride just to get to like a Wawa or whatever to get picked up, and then drive 3 hours to that Standalone show. So like, he's committed to the idea of it. He just needs to completely commit to it, I guess. I don't know. Something's missing.
Okay. So we're gonna move on, and I have a feeling this is one of your friends that's having fun talking trash in the chat. So the username is Fridge.
Oh,
Here we go.
That's my guy, Billy Gold.
Okay. He goes, "Oh, hell yeah, son. Got a question for this piece of trash, Ellis Taylor, who is the weirdest guy you know besides Charlie Tiger. And a follow-up, what's the weirdest thing Charlie ever ate?"
That Charlie ever what?
Ate.
Ate? Ooh. Man. The weirdest person I know besides Charlie? That's a hard question, because my answer would have been Charlie. I'm going to say Arcadia. I'm gonna say Arcadia.
I love Arcadia. Like,
Me around the
how is he like the weirdest? I love Arcadia.
I love Arcadia too, but
I feel attacked right now. I still feel attacked.
We were at the UWA fair, and he was just like in the locker room, like taking pictures of me and like sending them to me. Like, he's just a goofball, you know. He's big river. But weirdest thing Charlie Tiger's ever eaten. Well, you heard about the cold nachos.
Yes.
So he didn't do this, but so the cold nachos would probably be my answer. Or no, I have a better one actually. So we were in Atlantic City. We were in Atlantic City for, I don't know, I think the weekend Matt Cardona won the title. And we went to like some sandwich store or whatever. I got a meatball sub. I only ate half of it. I was like, "Chuck, do you want the rest of this sandwich?" Because Chuck always wants the rest of your food. He will never say no if you offer him the rest of your food. So I give him this sandwich, right? And this dude leaves it in the car.
Oh, no.
And then the next day, we go back to the car, and it's like, I don't know, like 11 in the morning, probably, maybe noon. And this dude, he starts unwrapping this meatball sub. We're all sitting in the car.
Oh my God.
And it's sitting there, and he just starts chomping down on it like it's nothing. And me and Griffin are just like, yo, what are you doing right now? And he enjoyed it.
I look out for these tweets now. Like, you guys are like such goofballs to each other. Heel Pops and Chair says, don't waste food.
he won't waste food. That's
oh my goodness. I can't with you guys. Oh, and that was the last HC show where I ran to you guys because I got nervous when Cardona won. And I was like, I'm staying by you guys because it got a little crazy. And I was in the front row. I was talking about this with Griffin on the podcast. I got really nervous and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to stand with you guys so you guys can protect me from the psychos throwing bottles. I was like, I don't need this shit going on here. So let's go on. We got a bunch of fan tweets. So we got another fan tweet. Andrew, he says, is the goal to become old, smart, and rich? I love this tweet.
I think the goal is just to become rich. I don't care about the older smart part. If I'm rich and 35, then bet. Let's go. And done with the brick. I'm living life.
Awesome. MGV Mason said, saw 2 of your matches with Young, Dumb, and Broke at Fight Forever in January. Can you tell us a little bit about that whole experience?
I was so cold that whole night. They had to turn the heat off or the live stream would go down.
Yeah.
Like, there was a whole issue during the For the Culture show. But so it was freezing for like the whole rest of the 24 hours. And we did our first match at like midnight or 1 a.m. or something. And our second one at like 3 or 4 in the morning. And I like both matches a lot, but just like having to wrestle in like freezing cold. I did my second match with a hoodie on because it was too much. I was just
man.
Like, no, I'm freezing. And Charlie was wearing trunks, I think.
It's from that meatball sub that gave him the warmth.
But yeah, that was a lot of fun. It was crazy to be able to leave a wrestling show, go home, sleep, and then wake up and look at Twitter and see that it's still going on. I think I went home and then I woke up and Jordan was like 30 minutes into his like 2-hour match, and I'm just like, wow, this show is like crazy. Like, and it probably still had like 6 hours after that or something.
Yeah. Oof. I try to stay up. I passed out. I walked back up. I'm like, shit. Like, yeah. I tried.
I was gonna stay there the whole time, but I could not.
Yeah. I give you guys like a lot of credit. Fan tweet from Joe Hale. He goes, besides teaming with Young, Dumb, and Broke, who else do you want to team with?
Nobody. I don't like teaming with people that aren't my friends. Like that aren't like I've teamed with other people. Like we just did Battle Bowl, and I had to team up with Donovan.
Yes.
We didn't exactly see eye to eye on how to go about the match. He was being very mean to Janai Kai.
I got a lot of your facial expressions during that match with my camera. I think I was posting them too. Like,
I think I saw a couple. But yeah, I genuinely don't really like teaming with other people. I think that's an advantage and a disadvantage that we all have in the group, is that we're so on the same page that we can have team matches together really well, but it really like makes it hard to team up with anyone who isn't part of the group.
Right.
But if I had to pick someone, probably who's like a really big wrestler, who's someone huge. Big Vin.
There you go. Vin. That's funny. I was thinking that.
I was thinking either him or Josh Bishop. But,
there you go. I was thinking more Josh Bishop. That'd be interesting. More fan tweets. Everybody loves you. This one's from Chris. He goes, "Where's your on the road? Oh, when you're on the road, what's your snack / food that is your go-to, and what song is your hype song?"
I really like the cheddar Ruffles chips. Those are lit. My snacks when I'm on the road are not like healthy. Like Griffin McCoy will pack like granola or like rice and beans or something like really like athlete-y. When I'm on the road, I don't pack food. I will go to a gas station and pick up a bag of chips. But what was the second part of that?
Hype song.
Hype song. There's this song, I literally am blanking on who it's by because I just know it from like a highlight video, but I think it's called Can't Be Touched, and it's like I first heard the song on like a John Jones highlight video, and it's just such like a hard song to listen to when you're working out because it's that perfect vibe of like, oh, dude, can't be touched, just keep working harder, it's one of those songs.
Okay. Okay. Oh wait, I got some more questions in chat. Heel Pops and Chair Shot says, how often do you deal with things like that where you don't see eye to eye with the person you're working with?
I mean, me and the boys argue sometimes when we're like trying to figure out what we want to do. But never like sometimes, like I wouldn't say we ever yell at each other. Sometimes we might get a little heated over what we want to do, but that's just because we care about it. But in terms of like other people, I don't know. I usually see eye to eye for the most part with people, and if I don't, then we probably don't talk too much before we wrestle.
Yeah. Okay. His follow-up question to that, he goes, have you had to stiff someone hard in the ring?
Yeah, but nothing crazy.
Okay. Fridge says, let me ask this guy something. If you were in the ring with a bear and a gorilla, who are you going for first? And how do you see yourself going over?
Well, I'm definitely not going for the bear. So I think I have to go for the gorilla. Sometimes I'll see like on Facebook or whatever, like random like animal attack videos. And I always say to my friends, like, could have just put it in a rear naked choke. Like, come on, nobody's trying it. I haven't seen one person try it. So I think I'd put the gorilla in a rear naked choke. And, if he's not tapping out, he's passing out.
Oh, man. So we have fan tweet from Everything Pro Wrestling. I think one of the questions you kind of touched base at the beginning, he had asked, what's the match that made you want to be a professional wrestler? And what's a match that made you become a fan?
A match that made me become a fan? I guess that CM Punk match, right?
Yeah.
Because it's the first match I saw, and I just kept watching. I can't remember too many others from like that early on when I started watching. So like I guess that has to be it.
That's okay.
But the match that made me want to be a wrestler is super specific, actually. It was NXT TakeOver, the first one. Adrian Neville versus Tyson Kidd for the NXT Championship. I have watched that match hundreds of times. I will probably watch it today now that I'm thinking. To me, that is one of the best matches ever. But watching that match, I was like, I need to do this. Like seeing the kind of stuff they were doing, it made me want to do it. Like Tyson Kidd is one of my favorite wrestlers of all time, and I've been incredibly blessed to be able to learn from him on occasional circumstances like seminars, DMs, stuff like that. But yeah, for me, that match like made me fully pull the trigger. Like, okay, now I want to do this. Like, how do I start doing this? You know.
Okay. So, what's been your favorite moment thus far?
Um, that's rough. Um, we've had a lot of moments that might not be crazy in the grand scheme of things that have meant like a lot to us as a group. Us being able to wrestle somewhere like CZW when we were young or GCW now, and be able to just be us and be this group and see that people actually get behind what we're going for. That in itself is a crazy moment. I think, recently it's such a small thing, but I, at one of these JCW shows, I think it might have been hybrid, but it was in the carousel room. The Young Dumb song was playing after our match, and I was just sitting on the apron, and I put my hands up and just like mouthed the Young Dumb, Young Dumb, Young Dumb and Broke, and everyone just started saying it, and it was like, man, this is really working, you know, like, because for a while it wasn't, and people were not fucking with it. People did not like Young Dumb and Broke. We were like, even if you like read reviews now, people still say like, these guys, you'd think they'd come out and be like the shittiest, slimiest heels ever, but like, why is the crowd cheering them? Like,
Yeah.
But so for me, just getting cheered has been my favorite moment in wrestling. Every time it happens, it's my new favorite moment.
Awesome. What's some goals you'd like to like hit within the next year?
In the next year, it's so hard. I hate setting like short-term goals because in wrestling, you never know what's going to happen.
Okay, so what about long term? Like
Long term,
in general.
WrestleMania. You know, I want to be WWE champion, and that's like the corny, generic. Every kid that wants to be a wrestler says that, but I think in this generation of wrestling, a lot of people aren't saying that anymore, or they're getting into the business and growing out of that opinion. To me, that is still the goal.
Okay.
Like, no matter the like, and I'm not even saying that I love the WWE product right now. You know, I think we all have our opinions on WWE right now, but to me, it's still like the pinnacle. AEW is phenomenal. They're killing it and changing wrestling right now forever. Wrestling is never going to be the same because of AEW.
Yeah.
But the kid in me, the 10-year-old,
Yeah.
I need to go to WWE for me and like for my mom, you know, like I need to have that I guess just seal of approval, kind of like, look, I didn't waste my time all this time. Like, what I wanted to do, I did it. And, you know, who knows if I ever will, but in my head, I will. That's the goal. That's what I'm working for. And I'm not going to stop working until I'm there.
Awesome. Awesome. Heel Pops and Chair Shot says, say it loud, broski, put it in the atmosphere, and in time and through hard work, you'll get there. And then he said, WWE will always be the big leagues no matter what happens. So,
of course.
So, even be like, I mean, I don't watch
there
WWE.
Are other big leagues, you know?
Yeah.
AEW is not indie. AEW is not a minor league.
Right.
AEW is on television twice a week. Like, they are as major of a promotion as it gets.
Yeah.
Like, they're pretty much on WWE's level. The only reason they might not be is just the history behind WWE. But, like, give it 5 or 10 years, AEW is probably going to be through the roof, you know?
But I love it. I love all the different kind of wrestling that we have nowadays between, like you said, like AEW and the indies, and then we got, like, New Japan. Like, there's so much
Something
out there. Yeah, there's so much out there that we can all enjoy. Me personally, like I love my indies. So like I get sad when people go over to WWE because I won't watch it, but that's just me. If you're into it, that's cool. You know, like I'm not gonna bash it. It's just not for me. So
Yeah,
but
everyone's got their own flavor ice cream, you know.
exactly.
And that's not the wrestling that I watch necessarily,
Yeah.
but that's just my goals.
Yeah, no, definitely. I understand that. Electric Gamer says, any dream matches, and could we see you versus any of Young, Dumb, and Broken 2K?
I mean, I've wrestled everybody in Young, Dumb, and Broke, so if you want to see those, you can probably look them up on YouTube. They'll probably be old, but um, the way we look at it, we are competitors first.
Yeah.
So like if me and Jordan are put against each other in a tournament like we're not going to hold back. We're going to fight. And the same goes for any of the other members of Young, Dumb, and Broke. If we're put in a position where we need to fight each other, we will, and there will be no beef about it. And what was the other part?
Well, he was talking about in 2K. Are you talking about like 2K the game? Is that what you're talking about? Electric.
2K. I thought you just said real. I thought you just said.
Well, that's what. Yeah.
2K? Nah, I beat all their asses in 2K. They don't stand a chance. Especially Griffin McCoy.
I love it. I love it. You know what the cool thing too is that you guys are friends for so long, and you guys started like together and still going, and you guys are evolving. And I've talked about this even with Griffin. As you guys evolve, so it could just like get better and better. Even you guys are, if you do face each other in the future. So, which is cool to see. Yeah, he was talking about WWE 2K.
I didn't even hear the 2K part.
That's okay. It's all good. So I have two final questions for you. If anybody else has any questions, feel free to drop it into the chat. So I want some wholesome content here. And let's talk about your dog, Tiny. Like, how cute. Like...
I have to go get her.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Oh, I was like, I have to bring this up. If you watch plenty on the podcast, you never know what's going to pop up. We've had ducks, we've had dogs, we've had cats, we've had hamsters, we've had bunnies. So I love showing wrestlers animals on the No Holds Barred Now. Oh my goodness, look how cute. That's it. If you think this podcast sucked, it's going to make it all better right now.
Yeah, this is Tiny. My smelly chihuahua.
Oh, hi. You're so cute. Oh, you walk her out for a nap, I think. Look at those ears.
She is always ready for it. All she does is sleep. Literally, all day. All she does is sleep.
Oh my god, how cute. I love it. I'm all about this on the network. So that's it. I'm just going to start inviting people with pets on the network. That's it.
Hey, that's probably the real way to get views, right?
Yeah. Hey, we had Alex Zane come on with what was it, the raccoon, not the raccoon, the oh my goodness, Hubert came on, and like I made it a GIF, so I gotta like repost that. So like, look how cute, how old now?
She just turned 3 at the end of July. Aww. I've had her since she was like just over 1 year old. So about 2 years now.
I love it. I love all these animals. So even like with Casey's dog, Coco. I got pictures with Coco with me. Adorable.
Oh, I love
it. Coco's the best. I love seeing Coco at all the shows. So
I can't bring this one to shows like that. She'll be whining and screaming and peeing everywhere.
That's why I don't even bring my schnauzer. My schnauzer be like barking at everybody and making a ruckus. Like, forget it. So too cute. So let me end this interview with one final question. I'd love to do this with everybody that comes on here because we have a lot of fans that want to get into wrestling. So what's a piece of advice that you would give an aspiring and amateur wrestler out there?
I'm going to give a pretty similar response to what I think Griffin said. You need to get in the gym. And you should get in the gym before you even consider like going to wrestling school or becoming a wrestler. And now that's not what I did, so it's very hypocritical for me to say, but I wish that that's what I would have done. I wish that I started wrestling after going to the gym my whole high school. What do you call your time in high school? It's not a career.
No, like I don't know. It's like
like
jail. It's like...
Yeah, literally. But yeah, work out, get in the gym, find a good wrestling school, surround yourself with good people who want to see you succeed, and just don't what's the word? Don't be hesitant. Don't not believe in yourself. You have to have confidence and think in your head that you can do this and that all your goals are achievable. Because if you think that your goals are too far out, then you're wasting your time. You're not going to get there.
Okay, good stuff. Heel pops the chair, so I say high school education. Like, yeah, okay, mine failed many moons ago. So, great advice. So let's talk about, we got a bunch of upcoming shows. Heel pops the chair says, I better see you at one of these shows. It's been way too long since we wild out together at a show. So you see these things that I just popped up on the screen. I better see you at one of these shows. JCW, again, like me and Ellis talked about, that's definitely one of my favorite promotions going on. NFW is another one that I think you guys would definitely enjoy. So you have that coming up. We talked about you and Everett Connors. I'm so looking forward to this match. Oh man, I'll be there. I'll be backstage. So you guys will get Indie Talks episodes out of me. And Hybrid and JCW is coming back to Atlantic City. So make sure you get your tickets for that. I know your matches aren't announced yet, but
hopefully soon.
Hopefully soon.
I'll be wrestling on both of those, but who knows what I'm doing.
So, and then you and Charlie defending the tag team titles, right? Coming up soon.
Big fatal 4-way match in the main event of the next AWE show. We're taking on Chip Day. I'm not gonna lie, I forget who his partner is, because I've wrestled Chip Day before, and he's had different partners every time that I've wrestled him. But also against Effie and Ashton Starr, and against the Hierarchy, who we've wrestled before. Another easy day at the office for Young, Dumb, and Broke. Walking out camps.
I love it. I'm excited. So a lot of great things coming up. So tell everybody where they can follow you and support you by buying merch and all that good stuff.
All of my social medias, Twitter, Instagram, the Ellis Taylor. My pro wrestling tees, you can just look up Ellis Taylor pro wrestling tees. But you can also DM me on Twitter if you want a t-shirt, and I will mail that to you myself. Yeah, I think that's all. YouTube, Ellis Taylor.
Okay, all those links are in the description below. Go give some love. Definitely, if you see him at a show, go say hi, go take photos, be loud. Make sure you go scream Young, Dumb, and Broke when you see him. And get those funny pictures, like when he starts making the faces, like I do during his match. And now I feel like you got to run back a match.
Like screenshots of my face now.
Wait, was it like, who was it? Somebody, or was it you? You took my photo and you blew up the face, I think it was, of one of my photos. Like, I think.
Oh, I love doing that. I probably did do it, yeah.
I'm cracking up. So, and I feel like now you and Arcadia need to have a match because, like, again, like,
hey, put it in the universe.
Listen,
this is Arcadia. I think he's scared. I think he's scared of me.
Ooh.
Every time I see him, you know, he's always messing with me, but he never wants to get in that ring. You know, what's that about?
Damn, I need this. And like, all I know is I put it out there that I better see him at JCW. It's like the girl that talks a lot about him on Twitter. That's what I am. So I love it. I love it. So Ellis, thank you so much for coming on here, chatting with us. It was a pleasure. You know, it's been a while. I'll definitely see you in a couple of weeks, and I'll get you backstage at the NFW show, so you guys can actually see all that backstage stuff on the Indie Talks. So make sure you're subscribed to the No Holds Barred Network and hit the bell for all the notifications. So support Ellis, go buy some merch and all that fun stuff. And yeah, so that is going to wrap up this interview, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out. Make sure you stay safe, support independent wrestling, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Have a good night.